Hello, and welcome to our webinar Fall 2026 Youth Preview Part 2. I'm Kelly Ferreira, Books for Youth Associate Editor at Booklist, and I use they, she, and he pronouns. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some technical details. Links to today's slide presentation and title list were included in the reminder email you received from Zoom 1 hour ago. To download them, please open that email, scroll to the bottom, and click on the links located there. You can also download the slides and title list by typing the URLs on this screen into your web browser. If you have any trouble accessing these materials, please contact us at webinars@booklistonline.com. The audience is in listen-only mode, but we welcome any questions you may have. On the bottom of your screen is a toolbar with a button for Q&A. If you have a question or need technical assistance, simply click Q&A and type your message into the box that appears. We will do our best to respond to all tech-related questions, and we'll pass along all other questions to today's panelists so they can follow up with you after the webinar. Booklist offers closed captioning on all webinars. To enable or disable captions on your screen, please look for and click the Captions icon on the toolbar mentioned earlier. From there, you can select Show or Hide Captions from the menu that appears. If you choose to enable subtitles, you can adjust the size of the captions at any time by selecting Caption Settings. And finally, Booklist expects all participants to maintain an atmosphere of respect and fairness. Anyone who violates this standard of behavior, including engaging in any form of harassment, may at the discretion of the organizers be immediately removed. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Carrie McManus and Addie Marin, Marketing Director and Marketing Assistant for Astra Books for Young Readers, Beth Eller, Senior Director of School and Library Marketing for Bloomsbury, Golda Rodemaker, Library Sales and Marketing Director for W. Norton Company, Maddie Hughes, School and Library Marketing Manager at Disney Publishing, and Brianna Cornell, Sales Manager at Shadow Mountain. So first, we'll hear from Carrie McManus and Addie Marin. Carrie McManus is the Marketing Director of Astra Books for Young Readers. She has previously held marketing roles at Random House and Highlights for Children, and she's a board member of the Children's Book Council. Addie Marin is the marketing assistant for Astra Books for Young Readers, where she assists with marketing and publicity for titles across all of ABFYR's imprints. Prior to joining the team at Astra, she was an intern at Seven Stories Press and Distil Goderic and Bora LLC. Thanks for joining us, Team Astra.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carrie McManus. I'm the marketing director here at Astra, and I'm joined by Addie Marin, our marketing assistant. Next slide. I just wanted to show you a quick snapshot of all of the starred reviews we've received so far this year in 2026, and it's only June. We have over 30 starred reviews, and we're completely thrilled with this. So check out these books. Next slide. And here's a snapshot of all of our Calkins Creek titles that help to celebrate the 250th birthday of the U.S. Calkins Creek is our American history imprint, and these books are available wherever you like to buy your books. So now over to Addie to kick things off. Next.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. First up, I am so excited to share See It to Be It by superstar Billie Jean King and journalist Liz Robbins. Billie Jean King has built a groundbreaking athletic and professional career, demonstrating talent, grit, and determination on and off the tennis court. In this book, she and Liz share profiles of 11 of today's most exciting athletes competing in women's sports, including Naomi Osaka and Caitlin Clark, and many more, combining exclusive interviews and never-before-published photos to bring the stories of these legendary athletes to life. Next slide, please. In vibrant, splashy blue and pink hues, See It to Be It is a read that's sure to energize and inspire a new generation of athletes. We're so excited for everyone to read it. Next slide, please. Over to Carrie.
Best-selling Australian author Lynette Noni's The Madoran Chronicles is arriving in the U.S. this fall in paperback. Akarni launches in September, followed by Raelia in November. This series follows 16-year-old Alex Jennings, who is transported from Earth to the magical world of Medora and discovers she may be connected to powerful secrets others are trying to control. This is a clean teen fantasy series perfect for fans of Narnia, X-Men, Rick Riordan, and Sarah J. Maas. Lynette Noni is known throughout the world, and her US fans will be very excited about these books. They're coming soon. Back to Addie.
Next up, we have Thunder and Mercy, a middle grade novel that features a gripping historical mystery. It's 1979, and 12-year-old Theodora Thunder Underwood is prepared to spend another lonely summer with a distant aunt outside of Philadelphia. After arriving at Mount Pleasant, her aunt's historic mansion, and a former property of Benedict Arnold, she discovers a diary written by a girl her own age, Mercy, who lived through the American Revolution. Just in time for the 250th anniversary of the United States, this novel will bring readers back in time, and Thunder is a relatable protagonist sure to connect with young readers. Thank you. Next slide, please. Right, next up we have Silent Sound Simple. It's a gorgeously illustrated picture book, ideal for creative kids ages 7 to 10 who love music and American history. Next slide, please. As they read this book, young readers will spend the day with composer John Cage. As you might know, Cage was an American composer and artist who specialized in the avant-garde. Share this book with kids to show them that there's more to music history than just Bach and Mozart. This book has 3-starred reviews, and it was also recently reviewed in the New York Times Book Review. Next slide, please.
Next up is Blues with a Butter Knife, the very first picture book on blues legend Sidell Davis. Next slide. Growing up, Sidell loved playing music, especially the guitar, but polio made his body weak. Refusing to give up, Sidell turned his guitar upside down, grabbed a butter knife from the kitchen, and invented an entirely new way to play the blues, one that would eventually carry him onto stages where he played alongside musical heroes. Here's a powerful story of someone from American history that you might not know, but you should know. Perfect for kids ages 7 to 10, this book highlights creativity and persistence, and it's coming this September. Back to Addie.
Here we have Dog Days, The Crush and Other Stories, the first installment in a fun and addictive new middle grade series, where best friends Mia and Willow, 2 dogs, share the peaks and potholes that come with best friendship. Next slide. Mia and Willow are the best of friends, even if Mia's new crush on skateboarding cat Jessie is driving Willow up the wall. As the two pass their time as best friends tend to do, riding bikes, complaining about homework, eating ice cream, and getting into all kinds of hijinks, they learn how to tackle the trials and tribulations of tweendom in their own way and together. Next slide. Right? In The Very Unusual Pumpkin, Lulu loves her grandmother, but she can't help but wish that she could be a great storyteller, just like all the other grandmas. Next slide. One night, Lulu decides to help her grandmother improve her storytelling skills. When Grandma tells a mundane story about an ugly pumpkin, Lulu asks what makes it so ugly, and then decides it isn't ugly after all, just unusual. This warm illustrated picture book for ages 4 to 8 celebrates creativity and family bonds, and it's sure to become a bedtime staple. Back to Carrie. Next slide, please.
What Shall We Tell You is a much needed picture book right now. Next slide. What do we say to children when they encounter exclusion, hatred, or cruelty? This book-length poem for readers ages 4 to 8 uses a series of questions and answers to reassure children that despite the very real problems that we sometimes face, every child deserves hope, love, and inclusion. Back to Addie.
The Patriots and the Pox is a nonfiction picture book for ages 7 to 10 about George Washington's difficult decision to inoculate his troops against smallpox during the American Revolution. Next slide. This book takes a unique new look at a founding father that shows why vaccines remain important today and why they continue to be a news story almost daily in the United States. It's coming out this November. Next slide, please.
My Word Theodore is the true story of how reading and writing saved Theodore Roosevelt throughout his life. Next slide. Often sick as a child, young Theodore found that books let him leave his bed to travel the world and explore nature. Reading books comforted Theodore when tragedy struck, and writing gave him an outlet for his feelings. This inspiring story for kids ages 7 to 10 shows another side to Theodore Roosevelt, the president, and also shows how reading can change the course of a person's life. It's coming in November. Back to Addie.
In a stunning true story perfect for young activists and animal lovers, and told from a unique vantage point, that of a land called Shah Jahan, a local couple helps to recover a patch of land near the famous Ranthambore Tiger Reserve in India. Next slide. This is a truly special story for kids ages 4 to 8 with gorgeous, eye-catching art, and we can't wait to share it with you. Next slide. And second to last, this is Home Builder Hazel, where kids ages 4 to 8 will learn how a construction crew leader and her team built homes from the ground up. It's a rhyming picture book. Next slide, please. This book celebrates the teamwork and dedication of the construction workers who build our communities. It's a girl power story featuring a lively crew and a busy construction site, sure to hold the attention of any reader interested in learning more about how the world works. And next slide, back over to Carrie.
And last but certainly not least, meet Splish, a determined, resourceful, and lovable fish who can't seem to keep themselves from getting into trouble. Next slide. Will Splish learn how to outsmart their predator and wiggle their way out of tricky situations? Kids ages 3 to 7 will cheer for Splish in this perfect and interactive read aloud story. Next slide. And that's it for us. Thank you so much for listening, and check out all of our books. And over to, I think Beth is next.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie and Addie. Next, we'll hear from Beth Eller. Beth is the Senior Director of School and Library Marketing for Bloomsbury Children's Books and has been there long enough to have made it through office moves to 4 different locations. Thanks so much for being here today, Beth.
Hi, everyone. I'm Beth Eller. I'm happy to be here to share with you our fall list and a couple of very exciting sneak peeks to winter 2027. You could go to the next slide, please. First up, we have a book from an author and illustrator who need no introduction. Carol Boston Weatherford, the Young People's Poet Laureate and ALA's Literacy Legacy author, and award-winning illustrator Gordon C. James. Together, they tell the empowering story of how Thurgood Marshall's childhood paved the way to his future as the first African-American Supreme Court Justice. Next slide, please. Carol's very powerful verse presents a compelling story of how a young, compassionate, and tough, gutsy boy grew up to be a groundbreaker and a history maker. Next slide. It's kid-centric in that every one of his later life achievements is paired with an anecdote from his childhood. And as we all realize, the Supreme Court remains in the news today, and it's important for children to know about its history and its legacy. Next slide. 23 Dogs and One Cat. This is from the creators of Two Bobbies, which was a story about a cat and a dog who were rescued from Hurricane Katrina. This is another inspirational picture book for animal lovers of all ages. Next slide. It's inspired by the true story of a class of second graders and their letter writing campaign to save the animals at the local shelter. This book celebrates the power of children and the power of collective action. It is also a story that celebrates kindness, empathy, and caring. You could go to the next slide. Back matter contains very detailed information about the Virginia class that inspired the story and the lasting results of their actions. This book, because it's all about letter writing, which is a core curriculum topic, will be a great excellent springboard for teaching letter writing. Next. Pieces of Home. This book will also be available in a Spanish edition. It's Alyssa's first family's last day in their apartment in the Bronx. It's not the first time the family has moved. She doesn't remember the beautiful island that they originally came from. Next slide. but her sister Penelope does. Readers will join the two sisters as they walk around their lively, diverse neighborhood, gathering and savoring mementos and memories, the pieces of things that make a home. In their case, it's a CD to remember dance parties, a mug to remember bodega hot chocolate, and coconut oil for their hair. Next slide. This story speaks to home in its many forms, from the physical location to the home we find with friends and family, wherever we may be. There's this very sweet bond between the two sisters that underscores how family can support and help each other through times of change. As I mentioned, it's also will be available in a Spanish edition. Next slide. How Do You Spell Belong by Tiffany Hammond. She was a New York Times bestseller with her first book, and A Day Without Words, and with no words. And this book, it's a rainy day, perfect for a father-son visit to a museum. But Aiden, who is autistic, is overwhelmed by the crowds and the noise. And while his dad understands, others stare and whisper, making things worse. Next slide. But when a young girl reaches out with curiosity and friendship, a moment of kindness that changes everything. Next slide. It's also a book that encourages us to create a more inclusive and welcoming world. Author Tiffany Hammond herself is autistic, and this book is based on her family and centers an autistic child and how he finds community outside his family, showing how moments of positive curiosity, acceptance, and different ways of communicating can make the world more welcoming for all of us. Her first book was a New York Times bestseller. Next slide. And now we're on to our early graphic novel series. From Geisel Honor author Selena Yoon, she continues to celebrate the lasting friendship between two opposites, cat and mouse. Cat is always ready for a playground adventure, and there's a slide he can't wait to go to. Mouse, however, would prefer to stay firmly on the ground. But as always, these two companions make delightful compromises for their different play styles and finally agree that playing together is the most fun of all. This is perfect for fans of Elephant and Piggy and Ballet Cat. The fourth book in the series will follow in winter 27. Next slide. Oops, I forgot there was an interior. Next slide. Project Wolf. This is from Matt McGillicuddy, who's been more known for his picture books, but he has moved into the early chapter book area. Alex and her best friend, Lily, and her cat, Professor Fuzzy Pants, who just happens to be the most intelligent cat in the land, must find the truth behind the science experiments that have suddenly gone wrong. Project Wolf was supposed to be top secret until now. Alex and Lily are determined to find out what went wrong. Less than 200 pages and including plenty of black and white illustrations, it's accessible and just the right amount of wacky. The book does incorporate real science into the book's zany experiments, giving it a STEM hook. It's weird, it's wacky, and it's the beginning of a series kids grades 3 to 5 will love. Next slide. We're so excited about this. This is one of the sneak peeks into 2027. It's a new book from Kate Messner, following up her very critically acclaimed and award-winning The Trouble with Heroes. That book has just made its 22nd state choice list. This is new from Kate. It's a mystery about 3 kids who discover a ghost with a big secret. There's a haunted theater. It's a story of an unrequited first crush. It's also told in a multimodal way, like Trouble with Heroes was. This time it's song lyrics, scenes from scripts, news articles, dairy excerpts, stage directions. It makes it a fun and engaging read for all. It's her first ghost story, and it is a book that is sure to entice young readers. Next slide. And here's the other 2027 title from us. We're thrilled that new 2026 Newbery medalist and New York Times bestselling author Renee Watson has a new YA book coming out. It's a dual point of view YA romance that celebrates young womanhood, the power of love, and Renee's keen fondness for Oregon. 2 high school seniors, Bliss and Solomon, meet and fall in love over a 2-week winter break. It's a beautiful, thoughtful story of Black teens depicting their experience navigating contemporary life. I think that's what Renee always does. She brings, real life to kids, and talks about all the heartbreaks and the difficult things that may happen, but always provides those young readers with a soft place to land. It's charming, romantic, hard-hitting, and hopeful. It's a story about legacy, loss, and small town secrets. It's another fantastic book from Renee Watson. Next slide. Your boyfriend needs an exorcist. Ever since 15-year-old Skylar has died in a car accident, she's been confined to haunt the street where she lived and died. When Ren moves into the house that Sky is haunting, Sky is crushing hard, but Ren has a boyfriend who treats her terribly. But things change when she accidentally possesses Ren's boyfriend. As usual in Justine's books, horror and humor are deeply intertwined to explore more serious issues such as trauma and guilt. Justine also uses body possession as a way to explore gender fluidity. Fast-paced and fun, this book is a book that any teen horror fan will love. At one point, it had me even convinced that cannibalism might be a viable way to solve a problem. And Justine's fans won't be surprised or disappointed to know that there are cats involved in this one as well. Next slide. Tell Me the Ghost I'm Gone, from New York Times bestselling author Kaylin Byron, another horror story. This time, 4 teens with unique and potentially deadly gifts. They don't want people to fear them. They want to help, and they offer their paranormal services to anyone who needs them. But then a search for a missing young woman puts them in danger and uncovers secrets that finally help them gain control over their own powers if they can make it out alive. Kaylin's books are beloved by teens. She gets critical acclaim. This is yet another horror entry that kids are absolutely going to love. And that is it for me. So thank you very much for listening. And next slide, there's our contact information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Beth. Next, we'll hear from Golda Rodemaker. Golda is the Library Sales and Marketing Director for W.W. Norton Company, which is the largest employee-owned independent book publisher in the United States. You can often find her checking out books at the local library or buying too many books at the bookstore. Subscribe to the Norton Library newsletter for updates and ARC giveaways, and follow her on Instagram and Blue Sky at WW Norton Library. The floor is yours, Golda.
Thank you, Kelly, and hi, everyone. Today I'm highlighting our late summer and fall titles, and we're also very excited to announce that we will be publishing Kate DiCamillo's next middle grade novel in April 2027. We're hoping to have a sample chapter at ALA. We will definitely have full advanced reading copies later this year. And next slide. We have an amazing lineup at ALA this year. I hope you'll come visit us in booth 3025 if you're going to be at the conference. And then we've had some really lovely picture books this year. I talked about some of these at the Picture Books webinar in April, and you can find that recording on YouTube if you missed that one. Best-selling author Kim Michelle Richardson's new picture book, My Kentucky Moonlight School, tells the story of Kentucky's pioneering moonlight schools through the eyes of Jewel and her grandparents. They set off through the moonlit hills for graduation night at their school, where adults from all walks of life come to learn. The story shows how education improved the lives of the people who learned at the moonlight schools, and it's so sweet at the end when Jewel's grandfather gives her a book to keep for herself as a thank you for tutoring him, and he is able to read to her from it. In the back matter, you'll learn more about Cora Wilson Stewart, who started the schools, and the way these schools provided a launching point for more adult education. This is a lovely picture book about family, community, and the importance of education. Michelle Schaub has Pumpkin Smash coming out at the end of August, just in time for fall. This is about composting, but also gleefully celebrates the joy of smashing a pumpkin. The rhyming text and the lively illustrations show how stomping and squashing pumpkins into compost helps them to decompose, providing nutrients for the soil, seeds for next year's harvest, and plenty of post-Halloween fun. It is an upbeat and playful celebration of Halloween and a call to action to reduce landfill waste and support local ecosystems. Nikki McClure's new book, A Forest, a Family, a Harbor, a Home, is a gorgeously handcrafted story rooted in the nature and landscape of the Northwest. She made these illustrations by cutting the black paper and layering it over colored paper. For this spread of the whale under the water, she cut out the whale, then layered colored tissue paper over it, and then on top is the paper cut illustration of the boat and rain. The story is threaded with the experience of childhood and parenthood, how it feels to explore from a safe harbor, go out into the world, and then come home again. A forest, a family, a harbor, a home is a rich and deeply felt meditation on the intimacy of home, the wonder of the world, and the magic of discovery. Nikki McClure will sign early copies of the hardcover at ALA. Micro is the fourth book in the Wild Wonder series. These books have intricate illustrations printed with luminous HUV printing. First, learn a bit about how microscopes and lenses work, then explore the thematic spreads that focus on habitats and locations, including ponds, forests, deserts, outer space, and even our homes, to reveal the microscopic creatures, plants, and objects hidden within them. The book features an introduction to microscope technology with information about their history, how they work, and what they allow us to see, along with a practical guide on how to use one so that children can explore microscopic worlds for themselves. Dragons Around the World celebrates dragons both beastly and benevolent from world mythology. Author Sally Nichols has drawn research from the British Library's extensive cultural archives and her own travels to write about a global cast of dragons from a range of cultures and locations. A showcase at the back of the book traces each dragon's cultural origins through museum objects featuring dragons. The creatures are brought to life through the illustrations of Maria Francesca Mellis. Featuring snappy summaries of famous myths and surprising facts drawn from historical sources, Dragons Around the World is the ultimate reference book for dragon fans the world over. Moving up a little in age level, we have The Story of Art Without Men, which is an illustrated young reader's remix by Katie Hessel. She invites readers to explore the works of women artists from history and now, and from all over the world. Ping Zhu's illustrations help bring the artists, their work, and their surroundings to life. Award-winning picture book author Mara Rockcliffe makes her middle grade debut with Wrong Way Corrigan's Wild Ride. This is the unbelievable true story of pilot Douglas Corrigan, who took off from New York to fly to California, but landed in Ireland instead. Did he turn the wrong way by accident, like he claimed, or did he do it on purpose? From his early days as a pilot and aircraft mechanic, including time building Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis, to the media frenzy that surrounded his accidental journey, this is a fast-paced, entertaining account of the golden days of aviation and of the first and only pilot to fly across the Atlantic by mistake. Wild Medicine is coming from Tilbury House. Discover how innovative and dedicated scientists and veterinarians use everything from peanut butter to darts to hidden cameras to treat creatures of all shapes and sizes. For rare and threatened animals like gorillas, bats, sunflower sea stars, and more, creative inventions and wild medicine in deep jungles, high mountains, and deserted islands can be the missing puzzle pieces to save them from extinction. The book also includes information on how young readers can get involved and make an impact in the effort to keep these creatures from going extinct. And switching over to middle grade fiction, I'll start with Lincoln Hud, Creatures from the Cul-de-Sac. This is the third book in the Lincoln Hud series by Jarrett and Jerome Pumphrey. You probably know the Pumphreys from There Was a Party for Langston or The Old Truck. The Link and Hud series is for ages 8 or 9 and up, and they have a mix of prose and comics. They are funny, full of mischief and heart. The imaginative comics and illustrations help break up the text so that the book will appeal to kids who prefer comics and those who like prose. The Lost Compass Clue is the second book in the Codebreakers trilogy by Alexandra Ott. In the first book, Emma transferred to a new school after an autism diagnosis and found new friends who were as interested in codes as she is. The group got pulled into a search for magical objects, trying to keep them out of the hands of people who will use the objects for bad purposes. In this book, the Codebreakers are trying to find a lost compass without ruining their friendship, but they just might be headed into a trap. When Rex Ogle was traveling around doing school visits, he would often ask the teachers what was the biggest problem they were facing, and most often they said attendance. So he was inspired to write a middle grade novel about kids who aren't coming to school often, while digging into the reasons why they're missing school, and also subtly showing the importance of education. Absent is narrated by 3 different main characters, and each one has their chapter written in a different style. So you have comics, journal entries, and verse or lyrics. When the 3 boys meet in detention, they realize that they might still have a lot to learn, not just from their teachers, but from each other. And then moving up to books for teens, I wanted to remind you of our 4 YA titles coming out this summer. And then just in time for the holidays, we have a queer holiday romance starring teens stuck in an airport, so lots of your favorite tropes. All the Way Home by Alex Ritney is a story of first loves, flight delays, and flying home for the holidays, wherever or whoever it may be. Last Night I Dreamed of Home is a romantic debut graphic novel that follows 2 college freshmen grappling with coursework, new friends, first love, and their Chinese heritage. From burnt cooking, a stuck elevator, and late night bubble tea, Alice and Howran's unlikely friendship could turn into something more unless their differences drive them apart. When a creative opportunity arrives, Howran must choose between his passion and his family, and Alice must discover her own identity or lose touch with her roots altogether. Fantagraphics has a YA manga title from their new Takumi Graphics imprint. In Comic Club, a group of teenagers searching for UFOs find much more than they bargained for in this coming-of-age story, rife with mystery, suspense, and danger. Amidst the mystery and suspense, Yang interweaves her story with hard-hitting themes of broken families, the bonds of friendship, and the need to carve out one's path in life. So I know that was a lot of titles, but here are just a few more fall highlights, including a new book by Yuval Zamir, the author of The Big Book of Bugs, and other titles in the Big Book of series. And the QR code on this slide will take you to our 2026 children's book catalog. You can reach me through this email or find more information through the library marketing link on the slide. Thank you all again so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.
Many thanks, Golda. Next, we'll hear from Maddie Hughes. Maddie is the School and Library Marketing Manager at Disney Publishing, where she has been a part of the team since 2018. She is thrilled to be able to read and talk about books of all kinds as part of her job. Originally from Denver, Colorado, Maddie is now based in LA, where she loves to hike, knit, and, of course, visit her local library. Take it away, Maddie.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm so happy to be here and share a selection of some of our most anticipated fall titles. So next slide. First up, we have Bodies Cuerpos, which is a bilingual concept board book from National Geographic that is illustrated with engaging animal portraits from photographer Joel Sartori. Next slide. In this book, little ones will learn body parts head to toe in both English and Spanish. Next slide. Furious Turtle by Lisa Frankel-Ridio, illustrated by Andrea Sarumi. When everything goes wrong for Turtle during the school carnival, he becomes shell-shakingly furious. How will he get through the rest of this obnoxious day? Next slide. This second book in the Forest School A Big Feeling series, following Embarrassed Ferret, is a hilariously endearing picture book that offers a relatable look at tackling big feelings, losing with grace, and discovering your own calm in the face of chaos. Next slide. Penelope Rex versus the New Kid by Ryan T. Higgins. Everyone's favorite T-Rex classmate is back, but this time she's not the only dinosaur in the classroom. Will the playground be big enough for the two of them? Next slide. Readers will root for Penelope as she navigates what it means to be one of a kind, even if she's no longer the only kid in her class who is 7 feet tall and covered in scales. This is another hilarious must-have picture book from beloved author Ryan T. Higgins. Next slide. Lowrider for Sale by Laura de la Cruz, illustrated by Vanessa Morales. Gabby knows that Poppy's lowrider, Pico Nights, is more than a car. It's a family scrapbook on wheels, a treasure trove of memories for her, her Poppy, and Abuelo Chucho. It chauffeured Gabby's cousin to her quinceañera, rolled through years of 4th of July parades, and was there for warm summer night drives. Next slide. When Poppy puts the car up for sale, Gabby is determined to find a way to save it. She tries to sell her own bike, organizes a community fundraiser, and even enters the lowrider in a competition. But she may have to learn that while their time with the car won't last forever, the memories they've made will. Next slide. A Princess is a Princess by Anika Noni Rose, illustrated by Jessica Gibson. A princess is still a princess no matter how she wears her hair or whether she wears glasses or whether she likes wearing pants instead of a dress. It's about what's on the inside, how a princess treats other people and the confidence she has in herself. Whether feeling grumpy or joyful, playful or peaceful, this story is here to assure readers and princesses of all ages, sizes, colors, and abilities that they deserve to feel seen, celebrated, and royally loved. Next slide. This is a message that means a lot to the author Anika Noni Rose, the award-winning singer, actress, and voice of the Disney princess Tiana, who wants every kid to believe they can be a princess if they want to be, no matter their appearance. And while it is a very important message, it's also delivered in a way that is playful and approachable to young readers with really engaging illustrations. And I just really particularly love this spread that I included here. Next slide. Sophia Lee Can Fly by Marie Tang, illustrated by Lenny Wen. Bubbly, bobbly, and bold Sophia Lee is always doing the opposite of what her grandparents want her to do. Sophia Lee is messy when her grandparents are tidy. She's always looking for an adventure where her grandparents are careful. When the circus comes to town, Sophia decides that her next adventure will be to become a trapeze artist. Gong Gong and Popo aren't so sure. Sophia might get hurt. So Sophia shows Gong Gong and Popo just how tough she is and convinces them to let her try. But once Sophia gets to the trapeze school and sees just how tall the ladder is, doubt begins to creep in. With a little encouragement, Sophia is able to find her courage and learn what it takes to fly. Next slide. I also love the interiors on this one. The grandparents have such good facial expressions. Next slide. Now moving on to middle grade. From Newbery Honor-winning author Erin Bow comes Witchward Bound, a timeless tale of friendship and magic about a witch's familiars on a quest to find their way home. Butter is a cat who knows he is destined to be a great hero. Owl is a raven who wouldn't recognize destiny if she flew into it beak first. They do not get along. But when their witch vanishes, Butter and Owl must put aside their differences and embark on a journey of Homeric epic proportions to find their way home. With inspiration from the Odyssey and endless charm, not to mention beautiful illustrations by Kelly Murphy, this tale is a classic in the making, a whimsical, witty, and warm story worthy of reading again and again. Next slide. Disney Publishing is proud to partner with Kugali to create our newest imprint, Kugali Inc. Kugali is a media company whose mission is to introduce young readers from all over the world to the magic of stories from peoples and cultures across Africa. All these books are written and illustrated by African creators. And these next 2 graphic novels are the first titles from the imprint, so including this one, Akani. All her life, Akani has dreamed of being an Onija, brave in the face of danger, strong in the face of opposition, and honorable in the face of injustice. And as a student at the prestigious Onija Institute, she's on her way to becoming part of the elite force that defends her solar system. But when a surprise attack decimates her home planet and the government refuses to respond, Akani no longer knows who to trust. She rushes home to Asa to search for survivors, and there meets a misfit group of rebels seeking answers. When they discover evidence that the attack on her home planet was just the beginning, it's up to Akani and her new friends to open the eyes of those in power to the real threat of war. Next slide. just to look at the interior artwork here. And this story is really perfect for fans of Star Wars. It's kind of a space epic. Next slide. Next from Kugali Inc. is Runeless. In the wealthy city of Dura, a person's fate is determined by which of 7 magical runes they're born with. And Fungi and Ngoni, both without runes, have nothing except each other. But when a mysterious hooded figure known as the Vagabond offers to magically grant them runes, the boys see their chance for a normal life, though it comes at a terrible cost. For the first time ever, Fungi and Ngoni disagree, and their choices change everything, pitting them against each other in a bitter fight for justice. Full of action and emotion, Runeless is the epic story of friends torn apart and, against all odds, reunited in an adventure that transforms their world. Next slide. We can also get a look at the interiors here, which is also really cool. This one's perfect for fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Next slide. Next up, I just wanted to quickly remind everyone of a couple new titles in series. So first, Gracie Kim, author of the Last Fallen Star series, is back with Royal Slinger. The second book in her exciting and fantastical Slinger duology, where dragons and phoenixes roam the skies of Seoul, meals magically appear based on your mood, and dreams literally come to life. And then Jax Freeman in the Graveyard Forest is the final book in the Jax Freeman series. This is the can't miss conclusion to another epic series from author Kwame Mbalia. Next slide. Illustra Title Rise is the second book in the middle grade graphic novel duology that began with Daybreaker. The mythology of the Philippine Islands comes to life in this funny, warm, and enchanting graphic novel series about friendship, perseverance, and finding hope even in the darkest of places. And then The Monster's Maze is the second book in the Roll for Danger series, which these are standalone titles that blend the interactivity of pick-your-path storytelling with tabletop role-playing games. The reader becomes the story's hero as they use their own decision-making and a roll of the die to determine the kind of hero they want to become. The first one is called The Cursed Catacombs, but this one's a completely different story. You don't have to read that one to know. In this one, Beryl is an orc girl with dreams of becoming a knight, and the reader has to help determine that path for her. Next slide. Moving on to YA, in The Introvert's Guide to Kissing in Europe by Branda Janowitz, high school senior Emily decides to take a gap year to follow the same path her mother took 60 years previously in order to work through the grief of losing her sister, while also discovering who she is and, yes, kissing a few eligible love interests along the way. This one is perfect to hand to fans of classics like 13 Little Blue Envelopes and Anna and the French Kiss, along with newer titles like The Summer of Broken Rules. Next slide. 72 Hours of You is a debut from author Darian Schramm, and she's written a hard-to-put-down emotional contemporary romance with a speculative twist. 72 hours before someone dies, Sydney Hoffman sees a pink cloud over their head, counting down their final minutes. Seeing death status updates in real time without being able to save anyone is pretty much the worst, which is why she never gets involved. But then she meets Peter Beckett, her optimistic and annoyingly attractive new classmate. When he discovers what Sydney can do, he convinces her that she doesn't have to handle the countdowns alone. Together, they wander New York City looking for pink clocks and helping strangers live their best final hours. The more people they secretly help, the more Sydney believes she can let go of the memories that haunt her and hold on to Peter instead. But then the universe deals a devastating blow, forcing her to reckon with what it truly means to live your last 72 hours with no regrets. This swoony, emotional, and tragically romantic debut is perfect for fans of You've Reached Sam and They Both Die at the End, or anyone who just wants a guaranteed cry at the end of their books, which I know is quite a few people out there, including myself. Next slide. Then also just wanted to mention that this year marks 25 years of Artemis Fowl. So to celebrate, we're releasing brand new special editions. I'm especially excited about this paperback version with a cover that calls back to the original iconic gold cover. Next slide. That's all I have today. If you have any follow-up questions or want to get in touch, please feel free to reach out via email. And we also have some of our titles available on NetGalley for request. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Maddie. Finally, we'll hear from Brianna Cornell. Bree is not at all surprised that her love for libraries and cats led her to a career in publishing. She holds a bachelor's degree in English from Weber State University and serves as sales manager at Shadow Mountain Publishing. Thanks for joining us, Bree.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're so happy to be here. My name is Bree Cornell. I represent Shadow Mountain Publishing. For those who aren't familiar with us, our press specializes in clean reads, just meaning that our books do not contain any gratuitous sex, language, or violence. They are suitable for a general audience and are free of religious content, except for a few Christian-specific titles that I will mention at the end of this presentation. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and jump right into the titles. We're best known for our middle grade, so we'll start there. This is technically a spring title, but we're very excited about it, so I just wanted to mention it for those who aren't familiar. Spy Sisters vs. Snake 10 Things. This is coming from a debut author, Alan Markham. It is a bold new middle grade series that blends martial arts, global espionage, and laugh-out-loud comedy, starring 3 unforgettable siblings on a mission to save the world. With 55 original illustrations, this action-packed adventure is perfect for new and reluctant readers, offering visual storytelling that enhances engagement and accessibility. But what truly sets this series apart is its heart. Themes of courage, family, and empathy shine through in every chapter. This is a fresh take on the spy genre for kids, ideal for fans of Despicable Me, The Mysterious Benedict Society, and Spy Kids. 2026 marks the 20th anniversary of Shadow Mountain's best-selling fantasy series, Fablehaven. Celebrate 2 decades of Fablehaven with this stunning anniversary edition, featuring more than 100 original illustrations by award-winning artist Brandon Dorman. This deluxe format hardcover brings Brandon Mole's beloved fantasy to life like never before, offering a visual feast for longtime fans and a perfect entry point for new readers. With over 4 million copies sold and translations in more than 30 languages, Fablehaven remains an enduring and influential fantasy series. This edition pairs the original text with breathtaking artwork that transforms key scenes into immersive, cinematic moments, from Seth's forest chase to Kendra's fairy flight. Bonus content from Brandon Mole offers a behind-the-scenes look at the creation and legacy of the series, making this a must-have for collectors, educators, and fantasy enthusiasts alike. And with a major motion picture set to begin filming this year, interest in the series is poised to surge across all channels. Next up, we have Nando. This is book 4 of the Best Friends Dog Tales collection. They are standalone second chance stories told from the dog's point of view. So some of you may have heard of Stella or Just Gus or Millie. Nando is the newest installment that will be releasing in August. And we are excited that it was recently chosen as a Junior Library Guild Gold Standard selection. Nando is a border collie who started his life as the runt of the litter, but he's grown into a very loyal, hardworking dog who takes his job and his family seriously, believing that the only way to keep his place on the farm and in the heart of his human Esperanza is to maintain perfection in all of his responsibilities. When a tropical storm turns the creek by the farm into a raging river and scatters Nando and his friends, Nando learns the hard truth. He can't control everything. McCall Hoyle is the author of multiple award-winning middle-grade novels widely adopted in schools and libraries nationwide, and this Best Friends Dog Tales series boasts 21 state award nominations and a devoted readership. Fast-paced adventure, high-stakes survival, and the unconditional love of a dog ensure broad appeal, especially among reluctant readers drawn to animal-centered narratives. The book explores responsibility, friendship, belonging, resilience, and self-worth in age-appropriate, emotionally rich ways that resonate with social emotional learning goals and provide natural discussion points in schools and book clubs. In Wish on a Willow by debut author Maria Oka, we follow 11-year-old Eloise and her unexpected summer. Stuck at Jeepaw's farm, she discovers Mama Willow, an enormous weeping willow whose branches shimmer in the sunlight and whisper with secrets. And when Eloise finds her daddy's childhood journal tucked away in Jeepaw's attic, she uncovers something even more unexpected. The tree supposedly holds magic. Eloise needs a little magic after her dad's terrible bike accident. She is weighed down with fear and worry. What if her father never gets better? What if their family is changed forever? And to make matters worse, a smooth-talking developer announces plans to cut down Mama Willow to build a flashy new event center. Eloise can't let that happen. With Mama Willow nearby and 2 new friends at her side, Eloise holds on to the hope that the willow's magical leaves can heal her dad, and she will do anything to protect it. Through gentle, emotionally honest storytelling, this story helps middle grade readers understand big feelings, practice compassion, and discover the power of empathy. The story weaves quiet, believable magic into a real-world setting, inviting readers to interpret wonder through memory, nature, and feeling. Eloise's fight to save the willow taps into current youth interest in community engagement and environmental stewardship, empowering readers to see themselves as change makers. Next, we'll move on to young adult. We Are Never Getting Together from USA Today bestselling author Jeanette Rawlinson came out in April. This is a fresh, funny, and heartfelt YA rom-com that flips the parent trap trope on its head. It delivers clean, fast-paced romance packed with witty banter, emotional depth, and classic teen drama as Madeline and Cooper begin a fake relationship to prevent their single parents from dating each other. With over 1 million copies sold and 38 novels to her name, Rawlinson is a proven favorite among YA readers. This latest release combines fan-favorite tropes, such as enemies to lovers, fake dating, and family chaos, into a story that's as hilarious as it is emotionally resonant. Beyond the lighthearted romantic storyline, the novel explores themes of empathy and privilege as the main characters' clashing backgrounds force them to confront their assumptions and grow together. It's a perfect pick for classroom discussions, book clubs, and readers looking for romance with substance. Our YA fantasy offering this fall is Threads of Red by Julie Wright, coming out in October. This blends elements of Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks, and Sleeping Beauty into a YA fantasy that reimagines familiar legends with new depth, danger, and romance. Red Grimshaw has sworn to protect her younger sister Crystal, not only from the poverty that plagues their family, but also from their mother's cold ambition, which treats the sisters as nothing more than marriage bargaining chips. When Crystal flees her unwanted betrothal into the forbidden deep woods and falls into a death-like sleep after being bitten by an ice snake, Red has no choice but to venture into the cursed forest to find her grandmother, a conjurer who might be the only one who can save Crystal from death. Julie Wright is a 3-time Junior Library Guild Gold Standard Selection winner who has also received several starred reviews and multiple nominations for Teen Readers Awards. This is her 4th YA novel. Filled with heart-pounding adventure and slow-burn romance, Threads of Red delivers all the tension and magic of a YA fantasy without graphic content, perfect for teen readers, parents, and educators seeking rich, imaginative storytelling that stays true to clean fiction. Red's vow to save her sister from poverty, abuse, and a deadly curse centers the story on protection, resilience, and family dynamics that will resonate with YA readers. And lastly, we have a few children's Christian titles for the fall. Okay, first up we have the children's edition of Expressions of Jesus. Expressions of Jesus is a collection of art that we released last year. This is an abridged version that has some text added for children. The love and influence of Jesus Christ can be seen in paintings from artists all around the world. In this book, 22 artists from 10 different countries share images of Jesus that reflect the people in their own communities. Some pictures show Jesus looking Indian, Cambodian, Mexican, Ethiopian, Navajo, or Chinese. Each picture reminds young readers of Jesus' far-reaching love for all of God's children, no matter where they live. One Silent Starry Night is the inspiring story of the Apollo 8 astronauts and their message of peace on Earth from the edge of the universe. On one silent starry night, Christmas Eve 1968, as wars raged across continents, 3 astronauts became the first humans to orbit the moon. From their tiny capsule, they watched Earthrise, our luminous blue planet rising above the gray lunar surface in a breathtaking vision that forever changed how we see ourselves. Drawing a timeless connection between the astronauts' revelation and the shepherds of Bethlehem, One Silent Starry Night invites readers to remember that regardless of our backgrounds and beliefs, we are one human family, and Earth is the precious home we share. Illustrated with beauty and sensitivity, this story rekindles the promise of that first Christmas night, peace on earth and goodwill to all people everywhere. Okay, I believe that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. For complete information, you can visit our Edelweiss catalog or shadowmountain.com. I'm also very happy to respond to your questions if you want to email me. Thanks so much to Booklist for hosting, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone. Happy reading.
Thank you so much, Bree, and a big thank you again to all of today's wonderful presenters. Tomorrow, all attendees will receive an email containing links to today's slide presentation, title list, certificate of completion, and video recording. For more about Booklist webinars, be sure to visit www.booklistonline.com/webinars, where you can view archives of past webinars and register for upcoming ones, like those you see here. You can also find out about the latest webinars on our social channels. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Blue Sky. 150 years of empowering library professionals, advancing access to knowledge, and protecting the freedom to read. Since 1876, the American Library Association has embodied America's aspiration for knowledge and democracy, championing the professionals who make that promise real every day. Scan the QR code on the screen or visit ala150.org to learn how you can join us in helping to shape the next 150 years of libraries. Thank you again for joining us for today's webinar. One more huge thank you to our panelists and to our sponsors, Astra Books for Young Readers, Bloomsbury, W.W. Norton Company, Disney Publishing, and Shadow Mountain. This concludes today's webinar. We'll see you next time.